Welcome to Unit 3, where we're going to look at project planning. Okay, so let's look at what a dissertation is. What is a dissertation? So a dissertation is simply a structured academic report that is not universal. All right? It's a structured academic formal report that is not universal. You'll be expected to do a dissertation. So it's a big academic report. There is no single universal format. So there are different universities that have different rules. So dissertations can differ between universities. Others will have abstract requirements. Some universities may not require them. Others will require upper system, Harvard MLA. So you must use what your institution actually requires. Okay. There are also weighted accounts that are different. So what is the role of a supervisor? The supervisor is your academic guide. All right. The person who will guide you during a project to correct um you, not your boss. The problem is that sometimes our supervisors, we fear them. The supervisor gives you guidance and helps you understand your topic to review your drafts and make corrections where possible and suggestions, and must ensure that your research is academically correct. He should not write your dissertation, not also chase your deadlines. He should also not collect your data for you. No. He should also not do administrative arrangements like get permissions and logistics. He is your coach, not, and the student is a player. All right. That is what you need to understand about what academic supervisors. They should not overreach your limitations. Okay, your boundaries. So this is preparing you also for your actual research. In terms of time and resource management, so your research should not be random, it should be planned. That's why there's a time at the end of your research, what is called a time management, a schedule, a Gantt chart, which breaks down your stages. When you're going to do your topic selection, your proposal writing, your data collection, your analysis, this avoids you doing last minute things. So this is a time when you need to start planning. So in resource planning, you need to identify what you need, the books, the journals, questionnaires. We call that mind mapping. In terms of planning, you need to estimate what the printing cost, your transportation, your data collection, your stationery. So in simple words, you need to understand that your research must be like building a house. You need time, money, and materials. So what happens if you don't plan? You delay in submitting, you run out of time, you have incomplete data collection, you have poor quality of your researches. So this is basically all about time and resource management. Let's go to intellectual puzzles in research. So what is involved when I'm talking about intellectual puzzles in research? Okay, are we understanding? Are we moving together?
Yes, yes, it's clear.
So intellectual puzzles in research. So research starts with you noticing a problem that exists in your knowledge. This is what we call an intellectual puzzle. What does this mean? It means that sometimes in research, you have one theory that says one thing and another says the opposite. So sometimes the results don't really match in reality. So this causes confusion. That is where the research problem comes in. Example, if a study is saying smoking causes stress reduction, and another study says smoking actually increases stress. So these contradictions will make you ask questions, which one is true? So now you begin doing what? Searching for knowledge, getting ideas until you reach a point where the research foundation is now clearly understood. So your research will be like solving a puzzle, you identify different gaps and investigate these inconsistencies. Thereafter, you find your answers, right? Then a good research and research questions. So a research question is simply a foundation for your entire research study. The characteristics of a good research question is that it must not be too broad. It must be easy to understand. It must be researchable. You need to collect data. It must guide your literary review. Okay. It must help build your arguments. So a bad research question is like, what is education? Too broad. A good research question is how does online learning affect a student performance environment specific, right? Researchable to guide the parameters. So why does this matter? Because a good research question, oh, If you without a good research question, you get lost. You collect data that is relevant, and your study becomes what unclear. So here, a research question is a map in your research journey. Let's go to now proposal and content of your proposals. All right. So a proposal explains what you plan to study. Why is it important? What are the components that are important? The research methods and justification. So when you're dealing with research, a research is a plan of, you must have a good plan of how you're going to conduct research. You must have a good topic. The research methods, you must choose and give reasons why you chose that method. Justify. You must also include how you're going to collect your data and analyze it. So what is not included is your academic history. Okay, reading difficulties. Those are necessary issues, should not be there. So you think of proposal like building a house, an architectural plan. A proposal will explain what you study, how you studied, and why your method was suitable. That is what your research is all about. Okay, so this is very important to know. Let's look at now research planning and preparation. Research planning and preparation. So it is important to understand that before you start your research, you must prepare adequately. Okay, you must plan. And the key areas are sampling, strategy. Who will you study? How will you choose the participants, and ethical issues? You need to get permission from UNAS, your school, UNZA, and any other institution, CBU, get consent from the participants. You protect their privacy. You also need to access research sites with the approval from the schools, from the hospitals and companies. You need to ensure that you're allowed. The key lesson here is that a good research, there must be proper preparation. Let's go to what is called research diary or a logbook. Research diary or logbook. What is this all about? So, research diary is a daily record of your research journey. It includes what you did during the day, the problems you faced, the difficulties you encountered, and the progress you made. So it is not for filling in space. It is not for extra marks. Okay, it is not something that is meaningless. So now, with this being said, let's go back to our quiz and answer a few questions. Which of the following requirements for a dissertation may depend on your institution? For the abstract to be included, the format of referencing, the word limit, all of the above, it's all of the above. Okay. The role of your supervisor is to make sure you keep your schedule and deadlines, provide intellectual guidance and critical work, negotiate access to research setting on behalf of the student, give you a reading list. The answer is B, to provide intellectual support and guidance. Can you manage your time and resources best by? You can manage your resources best by A, working out of your timetable, finding out what resources are really available for you, calculating your budget for likely expenditure, all of the above. So all of the above are important when you are looking at your time and resources. So you have to work out your timetable, finding out resources whether they meet in the budget. So what Marx of 1997 meant when it suggests that intellectual puzzles are contradictions that can be possible source of research questions. Okay. Marx of 97, what did he mean when he suggested this statement? That the researcher may feel that there is a contradiction between literature presenting a puzzle. A, that students can develop their IQ levels by attempting intellectual puzzles. Okay, unless you find a contradiction, you have no basis for conducting research. All of the above.